All right, welcome to the River Cruise Masterclass. I am so sorry for the delay, guys. I will tell you, though, that I have some amazing podcast episodes coming up because I have been in the Galapagos and I've been just getting around, as they say. I wanted how did that get that way? How much I appreciate you guys listening to this podcast and how much I have been enjoying doing it. And this is the last episode of our Rhine River mini series that we've been doing. Not the last episode of my podcast, so don't get yourself that excited. And basically, it's going to be kind of how we started is how we're going to end. And I'm going to talk about 3 days in Switzerland if you were just to do a quick post from your river cruise, or if you wanted to spend more time in Switzerland, how I would do it. Now, you don't have to do everything that I recommend here. I am the expert. No, I'm kidding. I mean, I am the expert, but there are many ways to do it. I have some clients who are doing 7 days. I have some that are doing 5. I have some that are doing 3, 4. You can do it all, but just I kind of wanted to highlight, and the reason why I put more time into Switzerland is because even though it is an itty bitty tiny country, there is just absolutely so much to see. And I won't even probably mention half of it in this podcast. Yesterday, I was actually listening to a Swiss travel trade talk about one of the rail lines and how different each one is. And it was just really interesting. So I just kind of wanted to talk about that. So when you go on a river cruise, a Rhine river cruise, you are going to either start or end in Basel for the most part. There are those exceptions to the rules, but for this, we ended our cruise in Basel. I will say, in general, I recommend starting a cruise in Basel because of the fact that you would be going down the river, so you don't have to hear the motor as much. But what I will say is, you've ended your cruise in Basel, and now what? So Basel is a great one-day destination. There are some beautiful history, architecture, art, charm, but it's very compact and it's really easy to see in a day. I definitely recommend walking the old town, wander through the medieval alleyways, where the buildings kind of tilt in a fun angles. The window shutters are still hand painted. It is walkable, it is colorful, and it is full of character. You also have the Basel Minister Cathedral, and it has its red sandstone Gothic cathedral, and it's perched above the Rhine with a beautiful city view. You can climb the tower and do a final panoramic view of the city and the Rhine River if that is something you're into. They also have something really cool, which is the Tingla fountain. It's a funky mechanical fountain that moves like it's dancing. It is made entirely from recycled parts by a local artist, Jean Tingley. I'm butchering it, but it's super fun and something you need to do if that's something you want to do. There's also a specialty food item. It's called a Laclery Chus. Again, butchered. So if you want to stop here for like a spiced biscuit, it is what Basel is known for. It has honey, almonds, orange peel, cinnamon. It is chewy, not crunchy, and it's a great something to try while you're in the city. So in case you didn't know, Basel actually has over 40 museums and is more per capita than any city in Switzerland. So if you're wanting to learn about some modern art, natural history, or like a quirky collection, you will find something here. That's how I feel also about Zagreb in Croatia. It has I think it's like the most museums per capita in Europe because they have a lot of really interesting museums. One of the ones that I thought was really interesting there as a side quest, it's the Museum of Broken Hearts, and they based a movie off of it in the United States, and I really enjoyed it. So if I was to do a short pre or post in Switzerland, you're going to be thinking that we are going to stay in Zurich because you're going to fly into Zurich. It's the closest, like, huge city to Basel. Basel does have its own airport, but it is about an hour train ride from Zurich to Basel. But I don't recommend staying there for 3 days. I don't know if that's a hot topic or a hot take or it's fighting words. But when I think of Switzerland, I don't think of a metropolitan city. I think of lakes, of, the Swiss Alps. And so Lucerne Zurich is a stopping point. And so this is where I say, if I was to go somewhere, you're still going to be close. Lucerne is about an hour from Zurich on train as well. So you're kind of just in this like circle close area. As we said, Switzerland is a really small country. So I would actually make my home base as Lucerne. Excuse me. Lucerne is going to be a beautiful city. It's going to give that classic Swiss vibe. So what you think about as Switzerland is what Lucerne is going to feel like. It has the lakes, it has the mountains, it has your cobblestone streets, and it has direct train access. So I would say skip Zurich, even if you're thinking I have to go to the Lindor chocolate factory. I did it. It was on top of my bucket list. It felt very tourist trappy, and not in a good way. I love a good tourist trap. But as we were walking around, I saw all these like small chocolatiers, and I would have much rather done a chocolate tour of the city. And Lucerne has that. I have some clients who are meeting with a chocolatier and doing a private chocolate tasting. So that is definitely something you could do if you wanted to. So let's start with so Lucerne has it is on a lake. It is perfect. Here are some of the hotels I recommend. Hotel Des Balance. I say Balance. I'm sure that's not what it is. It's right on the river. It has these beautiful little balconies, and it is over 400 years old, like the facade, the building. It is historic outside, and it's modern comfort inside. They have a beautiful restaurant with, like a famous fondue that you could try. You also have the Hotel Swisselhof Lucerne. It's kind of old world luxury with a personal feel. Every room has a different story to tell, and those rooms are themed after past celebrity guests. Another one, if you're into just like classic luxury, is going to be the Orient, and that is a beautiful hotel on the river as well. All of these hotels are on the river that is in Lucerne. And so I definitely recommend like one of those 3 hotels if that's something you're interested in. Now, if we were going to do a perfect day in Lucerne, we are going to have just like the first day is going to be about the city, the lake. And the first thing you want to do is to go to the Chapel Bridge and the water tower. So this is one of the most photographed bridges in Switzerland. And I didn't mean to push that far. Okay. It is one of the most photographed bridges in Switzerland. Look it up. That photo that I had on there was from a different bridge. I apologize. And you'll be able to see like triangle paintings from the 1600 depicting the city's history and the heroes. You also have the Lions Monument. So this is a little outside of the city of Lucerne, but is absolutely really interesting to go see. I'm not going to say it's beautiful because it's just a stark reminder of how gruesome history can be, especially for a country that tries to stay neutral in almost everything. It is a sorrowful stone lion that is carved into the cliffside to honor the Swiss guards who died during the French Revolution. One shield has the French fleur de lis, and the other has the Swiss cross. And it is heartbreaking, and it is beautiful. And it's just such a great I guess, reminder, but also just a way to honor those who did lose their lives during that time. Another thing that you definitely need to do is the Lake Lucerne boat ride. You're going to glide across the lake and its surrounding mountain peaks. And then you're going to be able to see that some of the boats are historic paddle steamers that you can use, and they have been around since the 1800s. The last thing that I'd recommend for sure that you do while you're in the city, besides the chocolate tour, it's my favorite, is to go to the Museg wall and towers. So it is part of the original city walls that are still standing, and you can climb the towers for an epic view of Lucerne and the lake. So some of the restaurants that you might want to try while you're there, just so that you know, it's important. It's the Wurstelhaus Gulliker, and you can try the Lucerne Chugel Paste, and it's a flaky pastry stuffed with creamy veal and mushrooms, and it's a classic comfort food. I've tried to write these all down because I was going to butcher them, and I feel like I'm going to butcher them. They're going to be in the notes on what they actually are, and I also have a page for this, so you can definitely get that information, or you can just message me on Facebook or Instagram. There's also a great restaurant that's right on the river. It's great for people watching. Go for the fondue. If they have a truffle fondue, I know it sounds a little bougie, but it is so good because that little bit of garlic in it, the flavor, amazing. But it's called it's the Zumfand Restaurant Pythons, P-F-I Stern. Anyways, another thing you might want to try is they have an Alpermagerin, which is like mac and cheese with a twist. It has potatoes, it has pasta, cream, onions, and even applesauce on the side. And then you're also going to want to try the Fendant wine, which is a crisp white wine from the region, and it pairs amazingly with fondue. So for the next day, you're actually going to get out of Lucerne because the reason I picked it is because it's a perfect starting point for your adventure if you're going to have that quick time in Switzerland. You can pick a couple of options. So the first one is Mount Pilatus, which is basically going to be the world's steepest cogwheel railway. It is up to 7,000 feet, and you can hear the legends of the dragons that once lived here. It also offers panoramic views of Lucerne, of the Swiss Alps, and beyond. The golden round trip ticket that you can buy is going to have a scenic circle with boat, train, gondola, and bus, and it is just unforgettable. The second one is going to be Mount Titlis, and you can actually see snow in the summer. So if you are going in July and you're like, oh man, I wish I could see the Swiss Alps during the winter, and you also don't want to deal with the cold as much, you should try this one. So you can take a rotating cable car to an icy wonderland. So you also even have the Glacier Cave, which glows blue, and they have a cliff walk, and so don't look down. If you are scared of heights, I don't recommend this one. I'd probably say go the Mount Pilatus route, and with that you can take the cogwheel up, but you can also walk down if you want. It's not as bad as you think it is, and it's just a great way to experience the nature of Lucerne and that area. So another thing that you can do, so you have for day 3, you have some day trips that you can think about. And this is another one that I am super excited about, and I have some clients who are doing, which is going to the medieval Gruyere Castle and doing a bubbly fondue, learning about the cheese, heading to Maison Calier for a chocolate tasting that ends in an all-you-can sample room. I mean, hello, my dream. Or you can also go to Bern, which is Switzerland's capital. And it is kind of like a well-kept secret, because when I think of the capital of Switzerland, I think of like Geneva or Zurich. Same with how I think of the capital of California, which is where I live, as San Francisco or LA. And I live in the capital, which is Sacramento. So you can walk under the arcades. You can see the 600-year-old astronomical clock that chimes every hour, so similar to the one that you could see in Prague, or visit the rose gardens for the best city views. So this is how I would do a perfect 3 days if I had gotten off a river cruise and was wanting to get a feel of Switzerland. And this is a great stop. You've got cheese, you've got chocolate, you've got Swiss Alps. You have done almost everything if you wanted to check the Switzerland off of your to-do list, or at least as part of like a 10 to 12 day experience for a river cruise. Because I do know as Americans, we only have so much vacation time. And the best part is you can always go back. So I am not someone that says that you can only go to a destination once and it is done with. It's like I've been on the Danube River 3 times, and each time I went and did something different in each destination. I learned something new. I fell in love with a different part. So you don't have to limit yourself just because you've already done a destination. But again, you also might be like, I've done that destination. It didn't impress me enough to continue to go on. I digress. So when I looked at 7 to 9 days for after a river cruise, I really wanted to focus on slow travel because that's what Lucerne is all about. I mean, Switzerland. Switzerland is really about sitting back, and I'm trying to slow my words. I am a fast talker. But Zurich, Switzerland is all about connecting with nature. It is about enjoying what you see. It is about really being able to just disconnect from the world that we see right now, right? It's about just the beauty of nature, and that's how I see it, at least, right? They all, in that, they have one of the best rail systems in the world. Super easy to understand, not that difficult, and they can take you almost anywhere. So that's why when I'm thinking about 7 to 9 days, I'm wanting it to be slower. I'm wanting you to travel by rail, stay in 3 places max. Like, I don't want it to be go, 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 go. It can happen. Like when I have clients who are doing 5 days, we are in a different hotel every night. But we had goals on what we wanted to do, and that was how we had to achieve them. And that goal for that trip is we wanted to do the Glacier Express in December in Excellence class, which if you have not heard of the Excellence class on the Glacier Express, it is 20 people in this car. It is absolutely gorgeous. And not only do you have these huge panoramic windows where you can see everything, you get a custom menu for like every so it's an 8-hour trip, and you have a 6-course tasting menu of Swiss food, and you have a butler who has all the food and drinks included. So if you can do the Glacier Express in Excellence class, it's worth it. It is, of course, $1,000. So I'll rip that Band-Aid off now. I'm not going to gatekeep the price. First class is amazing as well. You get to pick your seats. You have bigger windows. You also just normal, the coach is great as well. Just being able to experience the Glacier Express is amazing. So I'm not downplaying that. But if you have it, I would say I always have something in all of my trips that are like your treat yourself. I'm working on a African safari, a group African safari, and our Treat Yourself is doing a night at the Giraffe Manor. I'm doing the Rhone River, and we are spending a night in the Palace of Versailles. And so that was our Treat Yourself moment on that trip. So I did that also in Sydney. My name, Sydney. But Sydney, Australia, you can actually stay at the Taronga Zoo at their retreat that they have there. So you get to stay in the park. It's absolutely amazing. Okay, so as we've talked about, day 1 through 3 have a Lucerne base. So you're going to do the lake, you're going to do the mountains, the Old Town strolls, the fondue. So this is what we have already talked about. but we're going to move on. So now we're going to go to Zermatt. So Zermatt is basically, you're going to take the Lucerne Interlaken Express that will connect you to Visp and then up to Zermatt. And this is a train journey worth the price of admission. You get glaciers, you get waterfalls. There's these beautiful wooden chalets. English is obviously not my first language tonight. So Zermatt is one of those cities, and the reason why I picked it, it is car-free, and it is focused on the Matterhorn, which is another, not just a Disney ride, another beautiful mountain that you can see while you are in Switzerland. It is peaceful, it is walkable, and it is built for big views and cozy cafes. I definitely recommend some hotels, like you have the Firefly, which is going to be your chic chalets with fireplaces and kitchens. You have the Backstage Bouquet, which is basically a theatrical design with spa access. If you are looking for luxury, there's Servo, which is going to be an eco resort, which has epic views, farm to table dining, and major like I'm here energy. So one of the things that you're going to want to do while you're there is the Gorgon Ghat railway. So you're going to climb over 10,000 feet and face the Matterhorn head on. The views are absolutely insane. You can either hike down, take a sip of hot chocolate at the top. It is as adventurous as you want it to be. So the food, the Chefs Verani, which is going to be like rustic fine dining at the altitude. Everything is organic and local, and the beef is even from the cows that you pass on the hike up. So you're going to want to have like the Swiss traditional food, like lamb, rosti. You're going to be able to see those wood paneled alpine vibes, and it is just so cool. And so they do have the world's first electric taxi, so that they say that they're car free because that's how they do things. But anyways, there's always those little exceptions to the rules, right? So yeah, these are some of the hotels you can stay at. And then, so for days 6 and 7, we're going to take the Glacier Express. So as I had talked about, the Glacier Express is so worth it. It is such the iconic thing, but there are tons of, I think there's like 7 iconic rails that you can take while you are in Switzerland. So basically the Glacier Express takes you from Zermatt to Montreux. And this is going to give you iconic views for the full 8 hours. So we're going to go from start to finish of the Glacier Express. You can, of course, leave early if you wanted to, but to get the full experience and to see all the different pieces that are historic and famous, you're definitely going to want to go to do the whole thing. So this area is going to have like lakeside vineyards. It's going to have that French influence. And it's going to have like castle ruins. It's just full of pure charm. Some of the hotels you might want to stay at is going to be like the Grand Hotel Swiss, the Fairmont, Eurotel. So those are like, if you're going to be going for some like beauties with balconies and lake views. If you're going for the Fairmont, the Fairmont, if you don't know, is kind of like the iconic one that you see in Banff. So the Fairmont is known for just opulence, classic, a spa to die for. So now here are some things that you might want to do while you're there. You are going to have like the Chateau de Chillon, which is a lakeside medieval castle that looks like something Disney would build. But it's real. I definitely recommend stopping and visiting that. You also have some vineyards. So they have terrace vines that tumble down into Lake Geneva. You can hike or train through. You can stop for some Schloss wine and try the Swiss wine. I'm always about trying food in each destination to really like understand it. And some of the foods that you might want to try is raclette, which is a half wheel of cheese that has been melted and scraped onto potatoes. You just don't count calories while you're in these places, but you're walking so much, it's totally worth it. And then if you want to do a lake perch, it's basically, it's delicate, buttery, and it's usually served with like lemon and wine. It's just one of those just like really easy, quick eats. But this area is famous for its like skis. It's very much lake living. So that's what you're going to get when you go to this area. It's just very relaxed. As I said, slow travel is the name of the game. Now, the last thing, if you want to do those day 8 and day 9, is Geneva. I wanted to go to Geneva, but I did not have time. And I wanted to see, the United Nations. So the United Nations is headquarters in Geneva. You can see the Assembly Hall and all of its international history in action. I don't know if you're watching the show Destination X. Anyways, I think it was their second episode, did Geneva as the stop. And so you can, so I thought it was interesting because I was like, it's Geneva. What are we talking about? Anyways, I don't know why I'm not on that show. So you could do Jet 2, which is a 450-foot water jet in the middle of the lake. It is one of those iconic things that you see while you're there. There's the Philippe Museum, and it's for watch lovers. It is the centuries of Swiss precision when it comes to watch building. Another one on that is you can actually go to the Swiss knife factory, and you can create a custom one there. So you can pick all of it out, do it there, and they'll actually do it for you. Super cool. Something of those like unique experiences that you can do. You can also go to the St. Pierre Cathedral, climb the tower, visit the archaeology dig underneath, and soak in just centuries of history. Some of the hotel that you might want to go to while you're there is Hotel d'Antilera, which is a boutique luxury. It's right on the lake. Definitely recommend. Hotel Edelweiss, which is going to be your mid-range. It's Swiss themed and it's adorable in all the right ways. So you don't have to go super luxe if you don't want to. And so food that you have to try while you're there, right? We have fondue, we have raclette, we have rosti. Like you have so many great things to try. Now, for final recommendations, if you are doing Switzerland for any amount of time, you're definitely going to want to do a Swiss travel pass for unlimited transportation. You can also, when you're in the app, upgrade to like pick your own seats and do whatever. You want to pack for layers for the changing mountain weather. Even in the summer, you never know what is going to happen. You can forward your luggage with SBB. So you can ship bags from hotel to hotel while you ride the train. So it's basically hands-free. And so you can download the app as well, the SBB app, which is basically going to have all of the train destinations and things like that. And then on top of that, they don't have the typical European plug. So you're going to have a Type J adapter because Switzerland doesn't have the European plug. You have to have a different one just so it makes it a little easier so you aren't stuck with zero phone capability. Okay. So whether you're cruising into Basel and you have 3 days to spare or, another 2 weeks, Switzerland delivers. If you want a full itinerary cheat sheet, or you're ready to book your post-cruise adventure, check the show notes, message me. I'd love to help you plan your next Switzerland adventure. If it's with a cruise or without a cruise, I think it's a great addition to a Rhine River cruise so that you can kind of experience more of the destination. But I absolutely love Switzerland. I will tell you, it is a very expensive country. It has its own currency. So there are some things that you have to think about when it comes to it. And I would love to share that with you. So thank you again for listening to Sydney from The Poodle Booked It for this episode of the River Cruising Masterclass. I can't wait to share more. I think my next mini series is just going to be on all the different cruise lines and an overview of what I think of them, how they compare to one another, not aggressively, not being mean, but just so you know what you get with each line, kind of like a deep dive. So if you have any questions, if there's something that you want to know about river cruising, I can make it a podcast episode, or we can also just have a good conversation. And with that, I say thank you so much for listening, and I cannot wait to help you plan your next vacation.